الملكي. Please rise for the Saudi national anthem. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أصحاب السمو الملكي، أصحاب السعادة، أصدقائي الإعلاميين، سيداتي سادتي، أهلا بكم في عاصمة المملكة العربية السعودية الرياض في المؤتمر الصحفي العالمي لنزال الحقيقة في الدرعية. نبث هذا الحدث من المملكة العربية السعودية بكل فخر إلى العالم أجمع. Your Royal Highnesses, honored guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. My name is Yasser Al-Sagaf, and I'm very happy to be broadcasting live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the rest of the world. The time has come and the fight is almost here. On February 26th, under the lights, we will discover the truth at Dir'iyah.
The talk is over. The truth at Dir'iyah.
We always raise the bar here in Saudi Arabia. We always host a great fight.
For the heavyweight championship of the world, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The world will be watching.
Anytime, anywhere, any place.
The problem, child. Why they call you that?
Because I'm a problem for people in the ring.
February 26, his boxing career is over.
You'll see who the real professional boxer is.
Without the cameras, this guy's nothing.
The talk is over.
This guy's getting knocked out.
The truth will set you free. Oh, I'm knocking this dude out. Make sure to get your tickets for the truth. February 26th, Riyadh.
You don't want to miss this one.
You really don't want to miss this one. بسلسلة نزالات في قلب الدرعية حضورنا الكريم، أسبوع مليء بالإثارة والتحدي. من يا ترى سيتوج أمام العالم؟ العد التنازلي بدأ وأيام فقط تفصلنا عن الحقيقة في الدرعية. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come and the fight is almost here. A night that begins with 7 fascinating fights, including 4 proud fighters from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. ليلة تبدأ ب7 نزالات تضم 4 ملاكمين سعوديين بكل فخر. Then we have the co-main event, the WBC Cruiserweight World Title between Badu Jack and Ilonga Makambu. And finally, the moment we're all have been waiting for, after a couple failed attempts, these two names are finally together. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the talk is over. Sunday night, under the lights, at breathtaking Dir'iyah, these two fighters finally will get it on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this press conference started. I would like to turn it over to Head of Boxing of Skills Challenge, Amr Abdullah, to start the panel sessions. Amr, or Handsome Amr, as I promised him to say. Please take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yasser. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To all of our dignified guests, all of our celebrities, and of course, the 175 plus countries streaming this unprecedented press conference around the world, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ladies and gentlemen, guests, and everybody viewing around the world, this is truly an unprecedented event. It's unprecedented not just because we have a main event featuring an influencer turned boxer taking on the biggest test of his career in a real fighter from a prestigious boxing family in Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, but it's coupled with a fight that could be a headliner on its own. It's Badou Jack, the challenger, a former two-division world champion, taking on the reigning, defending WBC cruiserweight champion of the world, Ilunga Jr. Makabu. I have to first thank the Ministry of Sport for hosting this event and allowing us into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and doing this unbelievable event. And secondly, of course, the chairman of Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises, who really has the vision of putting on these amazing events and who gave me military orders in his military way of doing it to putting on Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, which I asked him not to do, and he said, I want the fight, so we did it, and followed by Ilunga Makabu and Badou Jack. Thank you very much. But just as important as the main event and co-main event, the one thing that is very important to Skill Challenge Entertainment, to Prince Khalid, and to the ministry is to ensure that we give a platform to the up-and-coming Saudi Arabian fighters. Boxing is new, not just in the Middle East and to Saudi Arabia, but for the region in whole. We have put on unprecedented events, and it is my distinct honor to sit here with you as the head of boxing for the kingdom, which I take a tremendous responsibility, and to continuing that. In 2019, the biggest fight of its time, the Clash of the Dunes, took place in Diriyah. Anthony Joshua regained his titles when he fought Andy Ruiz. And then last year, in 2022, in Jeddah, Anthony Joshua fought the undisputed world champion in Alexander Usyk. That is just the beginning of what the Saudi Arabian boxing scene has in store. But before I do get started, once again, I want to go back and talk about the Saudi Arabian prospects that are coming up and have this platform to be able to be showcased on. In our preliminary card, we have 3 of these Saudi Arabian fighters making their debuts on this platform, and I would like to welcome them on stage to familiarize you with them and for them to get familiar to the world, because this stage is just the beginning for them. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Salman Hamada, Ragad Al-Naimi, and Ziad Al-Majlashi. This is a huge platform for them, and they are going to be making their debuts here. And that will be on our preliminary card. Now, our prelims will be streamed on several channels across the globe, and mostly also on YouTube from Boxing Arabia. So anybody that hasn't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and follow Boxing Arabia. That's where the prelims will be broadcast. The headliner for our prelims, and if you allow me to get into the fight card itself, will be a popular influencer in Adam Saleh, who's no stranger to the kingdom. He's been here several times. He's made Umrah a couple of times. He is back now, and he is taking on a formidable opponent, call it a nemesis, if you will, in Stuart Kellogg, who goes by the name of Evil Hero. That will be the header of the prelim card, and then we'll get right into our main card. The opener for that will be Jordanian native Badr Samrin, who will continue his undefeated streak. He is 7-0 with 6 of those wins coming by knockout. He'll take on Romanian Viarola Simeon, who will be the biggest test to date for him. That will be followed by undefeated United States-based cruiserweight Muhsin, the Muslim boxer Kaysen. He is 10 wins, 0 losses, 7 knockouts. He'll be taking on Tariel Jafarov, who has an impressive 18 wins, 17 of those by knockout. He's a power puncher. That'll be a fun fight to watch. That'll be followed by one of the most special fights and fighters featured on this card. Ziad Al-Mayouf, the Saudi Arabian professional fighter, will continue his career. He is 1-0. He made his debut on the AJ Usyk card and put on a phenomenal performance. He is back in the kingdom, and he'll be taking on a gentleman from Ecuador in Ronald Martinez for his biggest test. and to continue his career in that undefeated fashion. So we want to welcome all of our prelim and undercard fighters. The undercard concludes with the co-feature or the co-main event of the evening, and that is the reigning defending WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Ilunga Junior Makabu. He will be making his third title defense against former two-division world champion Badu Jack the Ripper. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Ms. Rasha Al-Khamis. She is the Vice President of the Saudi Arabian Boxing Federation. She also sits on the board of directors for the Asian Boxing Committee. Rasha, welcome to the panel again.
Thank you.
Rasha, let me ask you a question if we can get this started. You have a tremendous stage in this Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury fight. There is a global audience. How do you think this impacts these up-and-coming Saudi Arabian prospects and fighters?
Thank you, Amir. We, as the Boxing Federation, have invested in the grassroots, and we have a strategy that focuses on grassroots all the way to putting them into main events and start competing at an international level. If you take us back to Clash of the Dunes in 2019, you would look at the impact that was generated from Clash of the Dunes. The number of athletes has grew by 300%, the number of clubs has grew by 50%, and the number of fitness boxing has grew by 18,000. Our aspiration as the Boxing Federation is to increase the number of boxers to 500,000 by 2023. And we believe through these big events that will inspire many athletes to pick up the sport and to be part of it.
Outstanding. So let me ask you this, Rasha. You have these up-and-coming Saudi prospects, and you saw them on stage. You have Ziad Al-Mayouf. How proud are you of this scene that's coming up, of these fighters, and what's happening here in the kingdom?
That's a very good question. So if that's a very good question. I usually work in boxing like almost every day. Those athletes have become role models to the younger girls and boys athletes. And then if you would look at the athletes, the younger generation, they're very well known to big names. And given the fact that these boxers are from their own country, that will inspire many to pick up the sport and to be part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Rasha.
Thank you.
Let's take it over to our headliner for the prelims. That's Adam Saleh versus Stuart Kellogg. We have here at the end of the panel with us Adam Saleh. Adam, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Adam, you are an influencer turned boxer, and I know that has quite a stereotype, for a lot of the diehard boxing fans. What do you think about this whole movement of influencers turned boxers?
First of all, I just want to give a huge thank you to the Ministry of Sport in Saudi. A huge thank you to Prince Khalid. It's a dream come true because I watched Clash on the Dunes, Rage on the Red Sea, and to be part of the truth, it's a dream come true. I think it's good for boxing. It's bringing more eyes into boxing.
Adam, the fight that you're fighting is against a gentleman who goes by the name of Evil Hero. I understand there is a rivalry there. Can you explain what the beef is between you guys?
I don't know. There's no beef. We used to follow each other on Instagram, and then he unfollowed me once we started. But it's fun. Boxing is a sport. At the end of the day, you show love and respect.
And that's 2023 boxing scene of influencers turned. When you stop following someone, expect a fight. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Looking forward to that fight. That'll be a fun one to watch. I'd like to go right into our pay-per-view opener, and that is a gentleman that really was highlighted. He was the swing bout on the Usyk Joshua card, and he ended up coming on the main card, and what a performance he put on. Badr Samreen is back, which many consider he stole the show on the undercard for Rage on the Red Sea in November. Badr, welcome back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, assalamu alaikum to everyone here and to people watching us. Huge thanks to Prime Minister of Sport and Prince Khalid for this huge event. And I'm happy to be back in Saudi Arabia.
It's great to have you back, Badr. You put on an amazing performance in the last fight. You had, the reviews that we were reading online were just amazing and all the feedback that you had. What was your personal feedback that you received after that fight? How did that change your career?
I mean, honestly, every fight that I fight in my early stage, I look at it as a world title fight. And each fight taught me more in the sport. And I just keep on climbing the stairs, work harder every day, and try my best to get to the top.
So you have your hands full in Viral Simeon. It is the biggest test of your career. He has been in there with a lot of veterans. He's much more experienced. Without disclosing too much, what is going to be your strategy going in fighting a guy a lot more experienced than you?
I mean, there's just so much a man can take, honestly, and I know him, but he doesn't know me. So it's gonna surprise him what I have in my ability. So yeah, I have a good strategy with my coach, and you're gonna see it Sunday night.
Looking forward to that performance once again. Badr al-Samrin.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Let's turn it over to the end of the panel here. Undefeated cruiserweight prospect Muhsin, the Muslim boxer Kaysen. He is the younger brother of former heavyweight champion of the world Hazim Rahman. So Muhsin, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me.
Muhsin, this is the biggest fight of your career. It's on the biggest stage of your career. It's your first pay-per-view event, and it is a massive opportunity. Have you prepared for this fight any differently than you have prepared for any of your previous 10 fights?
Bismillah. First of all, I want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi. I want to thank the Ministry of Boxing and, of course, Prince Khalid for welcoming me and having me and having great hospitality for me. No, I don't train any different. This is another fight for my career and my pursuit to become a world champion. And, you know, we just train the same.
Muhsin, your opponent is a power puncher. Out of the 18 fights he's had, he's finished 17 within the distance. 17 of his 18 fights have ended by knockout. How do you plan on neutralizing his power?
Like Mike Tyson says, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. So we, once the bell starts, we on.
We will see. We wish you the absolute best of luck, Muhsin.
Thank you.
Let's turn it back over now to the Saudi Arabian prospect. There is a lot of hype around this kid. There's a lot of responsibility around this young man. Ziad Al-Mayouf, welcome back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ziad, you're back in the kingdom. It's another test in your backyard. I know you train with the legendary Buddy McGirt. How does it feel to be back in Saudi Arabia and fighting back at home?
First and foremost, I want to thank God, alhamdulillah, for everything I have and everything I will get, inshallah. I want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I want to thank the royal family. I want to thank King Salman and His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for giving me the opportunity to empower and represent Vision 2030. I want to thank the Minister of Sports and the Ministry of Sports, His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Faisal, for giving me that vision and the green light to show the people what we can do. I want to thank Skill Challenge Entertainment, Prince Khalid and Prince Fahad. You know you changed my life, and I have to show you that I keep deserving this. It feels amazing to be back. You know, the pressure is on, but the beautiful thing about pressure is it gives you something to rise up to. And I choose to walk that path. I choose to carry the weight of my whole country and the whole Arab side of the world on my back. And there are two things I know. I'm God-gifted and I'm heavy-fisted. And that's the recipe for a good disaster. So Saturday night, Sunday night, we will see, you know. And it's just good to be back. It's good to be back. We talk about the American fighters. We talk about the European fighters. Now it's time to talk about the Saudi Arabian fighters.
Every time Ziad gets in front of a mic, take your notebooks out because he's going to say something profound. Ziad, one more question, and you had touched on it. You are the hype, you are the prospect of Saudi Arabian fighters. You are. You are undefeated right now. I mean, it's 1-0, but you are beginning your career, and there has been a tremendous amount of support for you by the ministry, definitely by Prince Khalid. and all of Skill Challenge Entertainment. Is that a lot of pressure for you? And if so, how are you dealing with that?
First of all, again, alhamdulillah for just being at this position. I know that many people could have this position and God chose me, so I have to keep earning it every single day. The pressure is always going to be on in anything we do. If you're doing bad, the pressure is there to do better. And if you're doing good, the pressure is there to maintain it. So it's just the road you choose to walk with. And I choose to walk the road where I accept pressure. I welcome pressure. And when your back's against the wall, there's only one way, and that's forward. And inshallah, we will do that Sunday night.
Inshallah. Wow. That is definitely going to be an interesting fight to watch. Ronald Martinez is the opponent who stands in the way of Ziyad to continue his streak and his undefeated record. Best of luck to you, Ziyad, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, let's take it over now to the co-main event, the co-feature, just before Jake Paul takes on Tommy Fury, the WBC Cruiserweight Championship of the world. This is a fight that many don't know has been in the works for quite some time. The champion, Junior Ilunga Makabu, represented by Don King Productions, managed by Tariq Asadi, takes on the challenger, former 2-division world champion, Badu Jack the Ripper. This fight will be one to watch. So whether you'll be watching on ESPN PPV in the United States, BT Sports in the United Kingdom, or in the 175 countries around the world with our broadcast partners, you will not want to miss this fight. Let me start with the champion. Junior Makabu, he is the reigning defending champion. This is his third title defense. He won the title in 2020. Junior, you are familiar with Badu. Tariq and I have been talking about this fight for quite a while. We are finally able to make the fight happen here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. What kind of fight does this turn out to be? Is it a chess match? Is it a boxing match? Is it a war? What kind of fight will this end up being?
Thank you. I greet you, all of you. I just want to say thanks to God who gave me this opportunity to be here tonight. And I'm also saying thank you to the Prince and the King of Arabia Saudi for this invitation to be here in Arabia Saudi. You guys show me love and invite me to be here. I'm very happy. That's why tonight I'll preach love to everyone who's here and to everyone who's listening to us in the hall. Then we have to love one another, not watching black, white, Christian, Catholic, Muslim. We have to be together because God is watching us to be together. I'm saying that because I've been working with my manager for 15 years. He's Muslim. I'm a Christian, but we work together. That's why I'm teaching love to the world. I'm going to answer your question. Sunday night, I want all people who love boxing in Arabia Saudi to stay and remain with the story of Junior Makabu in a month. I just want Badu to keep one thing in the month. I'm going to break your nose. I'm going to break your chin. I'm going to break your ribs. Thank you.
Let's turn it over to Badu. There was a follow-up question, but I think this deserves a response from the former 2-division world champion. Junior Makabu has stated that he's going to break your nose, he's going to break your jaw, and he's going to break your ribs. As the challenger, how would you respond to that?
Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank Prince Khalid, the Minister of Sport, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for welcoming me here and the hospitality. And shout out to Mike Tyson and Devin Haney here. I'm here to take his belt, to win. I'm here to become the first Muslim fighter to become a world champion in Saudi. So I'm here to make history.
And yeah, everybody got a plan till they get hit. So I'm glad that he's confident.
Junior, we'll go back over to you. This is your first time fighting in the Middle East, and it is a massive stage. Is the magnitude of this fight a big pressure on you? Is it a big pressure making your third world defense title and being on a stage this large?
I'm the world champion for many years, everyone see. And I'm a dangerous boxer in the world. There's no way Badou can take my belt. I'll go back with it home and I'll steal the WBC world champion.
Badou, will come back over to you. You've had a very accomplished career. You fought 8 world champions back to back in highlight reel fights. You're a philanthropist with your Badou Jack Foundation. You've done a lot of great things outside of the ring. What else do you want to do in your career?
Like I said, I still feel young. I feel fresh. I want to keep going, and I'm here to make history. So some people, they win title in one weight class. I won in 2 weight classes. Now I'm coming for the 3rd and the new.
Junior, I'm going to ask you another question, and it's outside of the fight because I know you're very confident in the fight. I know Badou's very confident in the fight. I know we're going to have one of the best featured fights of the evening. But let me kind of step it away and put the focus on the main event with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. This is a hybrid event where you have these guys that are on the main event. What are your thoughts on this kind of hybrid event and with the influencer turned boxer scene?
To say true, I got nothing to say about Fury and Jack Paul because I'm focused with my fight. I want to beat Badou and go pound for pound, challenge all WBC, WBA, IBF world champion because it's what I want in my dream. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The co-main event, you heard it from both guys, the champion, Makabu, the challenger, Jack. They will strap it up, they will lace up as the co-feature of Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury in Riyadh on Sunday, February 26th. A big round of applause to all of our undercard and our prelim panel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to transition into our second panel, and this is an extremely special panel. I have never seen anything like this before, and I am sure and I'm confident it hasn't been done before. We have a special feature, our special guests, champions of the past, champions of the future, and current champions, along with a very special presentation. So without further ado, the video introducing our second panel. I'd like by, first of all, introducing our panel. Of course, first and foremost, in our center position, the chairman, the founder of Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises, and the vision that this man has for boxing, not just in Saudi Arabia, not just in the Middle East, but his vision for boxing around the world is unprecedented. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to welcome His Highness Prince Khalid bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Seated next to him is a man that really needs no introduction. He is the baddest man on the planet, even though today he might say he's not, but he is the baddest man on the planet, a living legend and boxing icon in his own right. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcoming the one and only Mike Tyson. I have the honor of sitting next to one of our current champions, undisputed lightweight champion of the world, undefeated, 29 wins against 0 losses. What he's done by going to the champion's backyard not once, but twice, taking the title and then defending the title against him is, again, unprecedented. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Devin the Dream Haney. And finally, I think he has a Saudi Arabian passport now because he dresses like one of the locals. World title contender, our event promoter, one of the biggest personalities in boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Sheikh Derek Chisora. I told you that color would look good on you.
Thank you.
Let me begin by Prince Khalid, if you don't mind. You and I have had numerous conversations. I have the absolute honor of being the head of boxing for Skill Challenge Entertainment. And I jumped into this without any reservation when we had one conversation, your vision. And that vision was one that I had never heard before. I'm not going to steal the thunder and explain that vision. I will humbly ask you to address all of our dignitaries, all of our guests, and the world with the vision of Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, let me tell you what's Skill Challenge. Skill Challenge is a product of Vision 2030. It's a product of Vision 2030. So our vision comes from a bigger vision, the leading visionary, that's genius. Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Prime Minister. So Skill Challenge now is trying to branch, trying to be bigger. And one of the things that we're trying to do is branch it with a promotion and a management company. So I'm here to announce that we're making Skill Challenge Promotion, SCP, and our first signing is Mr. Ziad Al-Mayouf.
MashaAllah.
I really don't know what to say, really. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ziad. The first signee of Skill Challenge Promotions, which has officially launched. Prince Khalid, you did, in 2019, you did Clash of the Dunes. In 2022, you did Rage on the Red Sea. Today, this weekend, inshallah, we're doing The Truth at Dir'iyah. This vision, coupled with the vision of 2030 from Prince Mohammed, how is this different than the landscape of traditional boxing?
First of all, I didn't do it alone. First of all, to me, I will say the truth. It's Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki al-Faisal. He's the one that began all that. I'll tell you a story about how we did it, how we began. I came to Prince Abdulaziz with grassroots studies to do the grassroots in Saudi Arabia for boxing. He looked at me. He said, leave this alone and just bring me the biggest fights. So that's how it began. So what's going to happen with Skill Challenge? We're still starting. That's the beginning. And to me, everybody mentions Vegas, New York, or London for the big fights. Now Saudi Arabia is on top of them and will stay on top of them. And now Saudi Arabia will be the base and the hub of the biggest boxing fights in the world.
Prince Khalid, you have a wonderful relationship with most, if not every single promoter, managers, and many of the fighters. You see a lot of your friends and fighters in the crowd today. How do you think that the progression of you working with every network, every promoter, every manager will change how boxing, the business of boxing, is done?
Our aim is not to be like the boxing world now. Every promoter doesn't like the other promoter or doesn't work with the other promoter. Skill Challenge will be working with everybody, bringing the big fights, working with every network. And what's our aim? It's to do the fights, our aim is for the fighters and for the fans to have the biggest fights. Because now it isn't happening, and that's the problem with boxing.
Fights do take a long time. You see some of the best fights in the world, they take years and years and years to evolve, exactly as you had said. So your vision is to work with everybody without any reservation to put on the best fighters for the fans to see.
Yeah, that's our aim and our vision to go through that. But the thing is now, I'm sorry for that. I'm honored to sit beside the biggest legend in boxing, Mr. Mike Tyson. You're an icon. You are a hero to me. I remember staying till 4 in the morning. I think half of the people here stayed 4 in the morning in this country just to watch you fight. And I can't say how big it is for you to come here. And thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And I will thank my friend, Sheikh Darek Zara. Sheikh Jadek for coming here. He's a great man.
Thank you.
He's a great fighter. He has the heart of a warrior. Never saw a guy fight with his heart in my life like Derek Chisora. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
I want a Sheikh outfit.
I want to thank David, the champ, for being here, because I want people to know that this guy went to his nemesis, to his country 2 times and fought for the championship, and he did it. To meet you here, it's once in a lifetime. Thank you for being here. And we hope we have you here fighting, not being here.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
And that is the vision of Skill Challenge Promotions moving forward. The biggest fights, the best fights. All networks, all promoters, all fighters to deliver the fights that the fans want to see and deserve for the sport of boxing. Let me turn it over to you, Mike.
Yes, I'm here.
What are your thoughts during your time? Of course, there was the promotion, there's the business of boxing. We've talked about it for several years.
Yes.
How does this, the vision of Prince Khalid, change the landscape of boxing?
Well, it changes in one fundamental perspective, that in boxing, all of the money, if everything's not on the table in boxing, there's always something underneath the table. The whole thing is not on the table, and that's where boxing has this first fundamental problem, not telling the truth. Being promoters and managers, they all work together, believe it or not. Even though they're nemesis, they still work together.
Is that possible, Mike? Is it possible for promoters to be able to work together?
Hey, listen, it has nothing to do with being a moral person. If you have a good moral compass, anybody can work together. It's just that they're not going into this negotiation with good intentions. For the
Devin?
fighter, at least.
Sure. Devin, this is your first time in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the country. Welcome to the kingdom.
Thank you for having me.
Prince Khalid, by the way, when our list of guests came up, he said, I would love to have Devin here. He thinks the world of you going into hostile territory, going to Australia to fight for the title, and then not only did you fight for the title, you went back and defended it in his country. Your father led your career, and he's done a wonderful job leading the career. And he's stayed away kind of from certain obstacles, aligned with certain promoters. Even in terms of trainers, you've had your share of trainers along your career. So you're really kind of out there working with everybody. Is that almost aligned with the vision of Prince Khalid of making sure that you leave your options open and working with everybody?
Yes, the sport of boxing it would be much bigger and much better if all the promoters and everybody worked together to make the biggest fights happen, and that's what Prince Khalid is doing. And I think it's going to push boxing much further, and the best fights are going to happen.
What's next for Devin Haney?
Yeah, what's next is Vasyl Lomachenko on May 20th, and inshallah, we can do it here in Saudi Arabia.
Derek, I'll turn it over to you. You are one of the most outspoken personalities in the sport. You have been around Prince Khalid for quite a while, probably longer than most fighters have been around, and you've seen his vision. He's talked to you about the vision, and in your own right, currently, you are the example of this vision of not signing exclusively to any promoter and working with several of them. What are your thoughts on Prince Khalid's vision and Skill Challenge Promotions moving forward in this vision?
Sorry, one second. It's a great vision. One thing I always understand in boxing, you get a phone call, it goes, oh, you're fighting on this day, and we're going to pay this much money. And you're trying to get more money, they don't give you more money. But what Prince Khalid is coming with, saying, listen, come fight here, this is what's in the pot, and this is your money in the next couple of days. And that's great. Promoters, other promoters, they take off the table. I remember having a fight, massive fight. By the time I got my money, I ended up walking away with almost like 30,000 pounds, from 300,000. So, what Prince Khalid is saying, it's amazing. And I'm all for that, to be honest with you. If you want to get paid, come see the boss.
Mike?
That's a stereotype. I think we're better in business than anybody else.
No, 100%. I've seen it through AJ Usyk, and I'm happy to be part of this venture, to be honest with you.
Mike, I'll ask you a question that I think most people know the answer to, but I'd like to hear you elaborate more on it. Does the business of boxing prevent the best fights from happening?
Absolutely. First of all, before you even get the best fight, the fighter should be the first person to get his check and write check. Somebody shouldn't get their check before him and then say, hey, you get this. That should never happen. That's happening now in boxing. Why should somebody get, I used to understand, even when I was like, why should they have your check and pay you when you gave him the job of being your promoter? You should pay him. You should have his money paying him because he works for you. Everybody works for the fighter. Everybody thinks the fighter works for them. The fighter's the boss.
And skill challenge promotion will be for the fighter and for the fans to give them the biggest fight. That will be our motto. That will be our thing. That's the problem with the fights right now. You stay for 5-6 years to have one big fight. And the problem, to me, what I saw in our business is not just calling the fighter and let's fight. We have promoters, we have networks, we have things to do. And it's so hard that fans get bored, fans get worried. And what's good with doing the fights for the fans is now fans is going to the UFC, going to other combat sports, boxing fans. And for me, my vision is to bring back fans to boxing and be bigger and better.
And that will change the landscape of how boxing is done. What a vision, of course, aligned with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's vision of 2030. I'll wrap it up. Prince Khalid, if you don't mind asking you this question. You said that the fights would be based out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This will become the new focal point of boxing. Will Skill Challenge Promotions only promote fights exclusively in the kingdom?
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will be the main attraction to me, to Skill Challenge. Because with the guidance of the MOS, the Ministry of Sports, that's what made us. The Ministry of Sports made the Skill Challenge. So we'll try to make the biggest, best fights in Saudi Arabia. But it will, we'll work outside Saudi Arabia. And now we have like some signings with other countries around us, but still Saudi Arabia will be the base of the biggest fights.
So
I'll give Saudi Arabia the Champions League and all other countries the Euro League. So that's how it's going.
So you heard it here, Skill Challenge Promotions based out of and having all of the main fights in the kingdom, but it will be a global movement, a global promotion based out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Outstanding. We have a special presentation, and this was something new that I had found out about recently. We have, of course, the president of the World Boxing Council, Mr. Mauricio Suleiman, is here with us today. Of course, he's overlooking the co-main event. The WBC has always taken on extra initiatives, new initiatives to always do things outside of the regular landscape of boxing. They have teamed up with a company called Opus. Now, I had never heard of Opus before, but the more I started learning about this, the more amazing it was. I know that Carl's going to get upset at me, but it's a book. It's the world's largest book, and it's not just the world's largest book. This is a handmade book. It is the largest publication of the best 100 fights in the history of boxing. These fights have been chosen by over 60 world champions. The panel to introduce these fights and to actually classify these fights, categorize them, was chosen by world champions. One of the most amazing things about this book, 75% of the pictures in this book have never been seen before. These are world championship fights from the 100 best fights in history, and 75% of these pictures have never been seen by the public. Furthermore, I said there's only 100 of these made. Version number 001 is now here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it will begin its world tour throughout the year. It will end in Mexico City, where after it's toured around the whole world, it will be auctioned off. It'll be auctioned off, and 100% of the proceeds will go to children's charities. I'm very happy to announce that Skill Challenge Promotions has chosen a Saudi Arabian-based foundation, Al Bayda Foundation, who will receive a portion of these proceeds as well. And this book now, version 001, which has been signed by all of the champions, I'd like to welcome on, before I actually make the announcement, the head of the WBC, the president, Mr. Mauricio Suleiman, as well as the CEO of Opus, Mr. Carl Fowler. The WBC and Opus are requesting the honor of Prince Khalid bin Abdul Aziz to not only sign the book, but have the only signature on the actual plate of the WBC emblem before it begins its tour around the world. Your Highness. There it is. The WBC Opus Book of Champions, now exclusively signed by His Highness Prince Khalid bin Abdulaziz, joined by his son, Bandar. You should see this kid box. He beat up Tommy Fury the other day. The book will begin its global tour immediately. Version number 001 is here in the kingdom, and this is where it will begin, and it'll be passed around the world. I would also like to say that Mr. Carl Fowler is donating one of the books to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to have here for a keepsake. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this panel, and next, the panel that we've been waiting for, the main event, Sunday, February 26th, in Diriyah. The talk is over. It's time for the truth. The talk is over. The truth at Diriyah.
We always raise the bar here in Saudi Arabia. We always host a great fight.
For the heavyweight championship of the world, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The world will be watching.
Anytime, anywhere, any place.
The problem, child. Why they call you that?
Because I'm a problem for people in the ring.
February 26, his boxing career is over.
You'll see who the real professional boxer is.
Without the cameras, this guy's nothing.
The talk is over.
This guy's getting knocked out.
The truth will set you free. Boom! I'm knocking this dude out! Make sure to get your tickets for the truth. February 26th, Riyadh. You don't want to miss this one.
Yeah, bro. This. Ready? 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. For the main panel, the talk is over. February 26th in Dir'iyah, Jake Paul, the problem child, who's on his phone right now.
I'm live streaming on Instagram. I'm just getting the viewers to go over to YouTube.
Will be taking on the biggest test of his career in Tommy Fury. There have been several attempts ahead of time to make this fight. Several attempts have failed, but I'm proud to say that we are finally able to make this fight. Both fighters are here. The training camps are over. The only thing left to do is for them to lace up and get into the ring on February 26th. Joining me here on this main panel, I'm joined on my side here by the executive member of Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises, Prince Fahad bin Abdulaziz. Prince, welcome, sir. Prince Fahad and I have had discussions back and forth about this fight, different things that would happen, different scenarios. It's a very exciting fight. We're looking forward to a very exciting performance. Seated next to him is the president of the Saudi Arabian Boxing Federation, Mr. Abdullah Al-Harbi. Brother Abdullah, allow me please to begin with you. As the president of the Saudi Arabian Boxing Federation, you heard Prince Khalid talk about the vision of Skill Challenge Promotions. What does an event like this mean to the up-and-coming Saudi prospects and Saudi fighters to be able to have a platform like this?
Bismillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum. I think, Amr, you started by asking, what does this have for Saudi Arabia? And it just reminded me yesterday that we had our founding day. And it just dawned on me, how much transformation did we go as a nation from where we were till where we are today? And that transformation is truly magnificent, specifically when we look at this era, the era of His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, where we now see how this whole new frontier of either be it sports, economics, or a lot of different other sectors are thriving within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I wanted, first of all, to thank, because we need to thank a lot of different people, starting from His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Turkey, Minister of Sports, who has truly paved the way to sports in general in the kingdom, and the kingdom becoming an epicenter for sports in all different walks of life. Specifically for boxing, we're happy that this is going to be the third of multiple international bouts that are happening on the Saudi soil. This is going to be as well the year where we're going to have the multiple other events like the upcoming October event that is going to be the World Combat Games, whereby boxing is going to be at the top of that event. And hence, when we look at all of that, we see how much sports is becoming the center. You talked about Prince Khalid, and I think Prince Khalid bin Abdulaziz, we truly, truly thank you for being the lead of sport in boxing in the kingdom. I recall 4 years ago when we were sitting and talking about how boxing is going to be in the kingdom. And truly today to see that and to see how all of this happened is truly a magnificent work. And so thank you very much. And thank you for everyone in Skill Challenge for bringing multiple fights to the kingdom.
Thank you, Abdullah. I would like to follow up with one question also. And you're talking about the vision, you're talking about the progression of the fighters. And since the Clash of the Dunes in 2019, there has been an absolute emergence of boxing. There has been so many new gyms, so many new prospects, so many new fighters that are coming up. And then, of course, followed up by 2022, Rage on the Red Sea. What are your plans with these up-and-coming Saudi champions and these prospects when they reach that level of the top of the amateurs? What is the next plan for them, and how does that coincide with this vision?
To sign with Skill Challenge.
Well, we have a commitment then that we will start promoting, of course, these up-and-coming Saudi prospects. Again, the boxing is new in the country. The boxing is new in the region. And to have up-and-coming Saudi prospects like the 3 fighters you have on the prelim, followed by, of course, Ziyad on the main card, this is what this platform is for. It's to give them this kind of opportunity. The Saudi Arabian Boxing Federation has done a phenomenal job in being able to groom them for that position. So thank you very much, Brother Abdullah Harbi.
Thank you.
Let me turn it over also, Prince Fahad, executive member of Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises. We've been talking about this fight for a long time. And we've had talks in the office, and I think there's, between us, I think there's a bet on push-ups of who's going to win the fight and how it's going to end. And we've been going back and forth on this. This fight, Prince Fahad, has taken a long time to make. It is finally being made, and it's finally happening. How significant is this fight for the landscape of boxing in Saudi Arabia and boxing in general?
Well, first of all, I would like to welcome everyone here. And we're happy to host Team Jake and Team Fury here. As you know, the last couple of years, we had 2 big fights here in Saudi. We always raise the bar here in Saudi and in Skill Challenge. So we overcame the challenges, and now we have a big event here in Riyadh, inshallah. And this is just the beginning. The whole world will be watching, and I wish a good luck to both teams here. Thank you very much.
Outstanding. And yes, this is just the beginning. The vision that Prince Khalid bin Abdul Aziz has with Skill Challenge Promotions, with all of the fighters, is truly unprecedented, and it will be great for all of the fighters. Let's get into the fighters now. And of course, I'm going to bring onto the panel, down at the very end, a man that really needs no introduction to the fight scene. His son is the heavyweight champion of the world. John Fury is no stranger to big fights. John, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thanks for having me.
John, you've been a focal point in this promotion. You've been very vocal. You've been very adamant about what's going to happen in this fight. You are not a stranger to big fights. Tyson, of course, has been in the biggest fights in the world. Tommy has not been. This is the first big stage for Tommy. And you've been doing a lot of talking for Tommy. You've been promoting the fight a lot for Tommy. Is this stage too big for Tommy, and is the pressure too much for Tommy at this stage of his career?
First and foremost, I want to thank Prince Khalid, His Royal Highness, and everybody in Skill Challenge for allowing us to be in this great event. Yes, I can answer that question. We don't do pressure of any description. We're here to fight. You know, he's been round on the big stage most of his life. You know, I think when he first started out, he was meant to do big stuff just for who he is, being Tyson Fury's brother. You know, he's been under pressure right from the off, but this kid survives on pressure. And believe me, I wouldn't have my son sat here if I didn't think he could deliver, because there's no way in this entire world my son would disgrace our great champion in Tyson Fury. So in this great country, going to see something special. Thank you all.
John, you're very much a part of Tommy's training, his day-to-day training, and his whole boxing business. Has Tommy changed this fight? Has this fight been a little bit different for him than all of the previous ones in terms of how much attention he gives it, how serious he's taking it, and the level of commitment he has to his camp?
To be fair, I've handled Tommy since he's been a pup, but I think we've worked more on manners coming to Saudi and presenting ourselves right in this great country than actual training for the event. We know what we've got to do. We're professionals. Fighting, boxing is what we do, and we've done it. We've left no stone unturned. We're coming here to do one thing, knock Jake Paul out. Nothing else will do. You know, what more can I say? You know, the 26th, the talking's over. It's been a long time in the making, but I can't wait. I'm sat here excited, believe me, to the outcome of this. You know, but you know what? There's going to be defeat in Derry for Jake Paul, I'm afraid. But you know what? Good luck to him. You know, he's a nice kid. You know, he's a very, what can I say, intelligent boy for the age of him. And without him, we wouldn't be here. So, Jake Paul, thank you very much.
I think, John, we could probably have a press conference, just you talking about this whole fight to hype it up. But let me just follow up with one last question, if you don't mind.
No problem.
You've recently come out and said you admire Jake Paul. But we've seen you ringside. You took your shirt off. You tried to attack him. You tried to fight him. Do you admire him? Do you like Jake Paul? Or is there animosity there?
We're sat here, aren't we? I've got nothing against him. I've got children older than him. I've got a granddaughter near his age. I mean him no animosity at all. We're in the fight game. It's our duty to promote the fight, and that's what I feel I did. You know, but like I say, the talking's over. The best man will win, and I know for sure it's going to be TNT.
Let's turn it over to this side of the panel. MVP Promotions, co-founder and business partner of Jake Paul's, Mr. Nikisa Badarian. Nikisa, welcome back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you for having me.
Nikisa, your job in the boxing business, which you've heard our special guest panel talk about, because it is a business, and I've said it before, it is a business disguised as a sport. Your job is to protect the best asset that you have in your business. The biggest business asset in MVP Promotions is Jake Paul's likeness, his celebrity, and the fact that he has this unprecedented, undefeated record going, fighting everybody from, basketball players in the beginning to now legitimate fighters, and on Sunday night to Tommy Fury. Is this dangerous for you to put your biggest asset in a fight this big with this mega stage globally around the world?
Sure. First of all, I think it's important that we recognize this fight took 2 years to be put together, and it took the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Ministry of Sport, Skill Challenge Entertainment, Prince Khalid, and yourself, Amr, to actually get it here. So let's recognize that this is because of the host that we have that this is happening. We couldn't do it over in the US. We couldn't pull it off, and you guys did, so thank you for having us.
Thank you.
To answer your question, this is what Jake wants. He is not anybody's asset. He is the asset. He is the company. He makes the decisions. I advise him, I provide him support, but he is charting his own path that has not been charted before. You look at the likes of Floyd Mayweather, his 9th fight, not his 7th, his 9th fight was against a 1-13 boxer. Gervonta Davis, one of the most talked about current boxers in the world, 8th fight against the guy who was making his debut, who never fought again, and was 1-2 as an MMA fighter. So, are we worried about protecting Jake as an asset? No. Jake is focused on disrupting boxing, taking risks, and putting on great events.
Well said. Tommy is the first quote-unquote real boxer that Jake is facing. And real boxer, not somebody that comes from an MMA background, not somebody that comes from any other sport background, but a guy that has devoted his life to boxing. And it comes from a lineage and a prestigious family of the Fury family with quite a reputation that they have to uphold. Jake is now fighting a real fighter. Have you seen a difference in Jake in taking on an opponent like Tommy Fury?
From the day I met Jake Paul, he's always been 100% focused on the task at hand. So I wouldn't say there's a difference in how he's preparing for Tommy Fury outside of understanding, studying, and putting together a camp that allows him to be successful versus Tommy Fury. He works hard every single day of every single week, and this has been no different for him.
All right, before we get into the fighters, let's talk to our event promoter, Derek Chisora. Derek, welcome back to the panel.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited about this fight. I'm buzzing. Delicious. Yeah, so, you know, it's amazing to be back in Saudi again, because the last time I was here, my brother was fighting Usyk in Jeddah. But it was not a great night for us, you know. But I'm back again, thanks to my boss for bringing me back. I really appreciate it, Prince Khalid. Yeah, I need to spice up some stage. You know, the truth is here. Talk is over. What is the truth? Is Jake Paul going to beat Tommy Fury? Is Tommy Fury going to beat Jake Paul? We don't know. We have to wait until Sunday. And knowing, being a fighter myself, when you train all this time and you only got a week left, it's just when it's all get cranky and you're all like a bit nervous and excited at the same time. And you get that adrenaline in your body, can't wait. And I'm just excited about this fight.
Derek, you heard John Fury talk, you heard Nikisa talk. Just based on them, before we even hear from the fighters, before we hear from them, I know you're very opinionated about the fight. What are your thoughts going into this fight?
The problem child really wants this fight. You must know something I don't know. You know, Tommy, he's sitting next to me. I've known Tommy for a while. I know his brother. I've tasted his brother's hands so many times. You know, but it's okay. We're still friends. You know, I say the winner of this fight will not win it in the first half of the fight, wins it in the last fight, in the last 4 rounds. That's when we get the winner. When everybody is tired and they're making mistakes, that's where we're going to get the winner.
It is scheduled for 8 rounds. It'll be very interesting to see
8 rounds.
It's an 8-round fight.
I thought it was a 12-rounder.
Tommy Fury at 8-0, Jake Paul at 6-0. They're going to work their way up to 12 rounds, but this one is scheduled for 8. So given that, does that change the dynamic of the fight?
No, it don't. It don't, you know, but it's great, you know. So that means we're going to have an explosive fight.
Right.
None of this tippy-tapping, dancing around. So I just want an explosive fight. I want an entertainment fight. I know the problem child is going to bring it. So Jake Paul's going to bring it. Vicious, because we've seen his last couple of fights. You know, he brings it, he keeps going and going until he knocks his man down. So I'm excited about that. And I know John Fury is training his son to disrupt him, basically. So
yes, Derek, there's only one way we've been training for this, and that's the knockout. People don't want to see people shadowboxing in the ring or making it look hard work. They want to see clean, solid power punches from the off. And that's what you're going to get, power punching from the first bell. So it's who's got the best chin and the biggest you-know-whats. So I know my son, back in both.
So this is exciting already, you know. It's a point of, I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to introduce Jake anymore. I don't want to introduce Tommy. We already know who they are. You know, Jake, what's the game plan, bro? How are you going to stop this man you've been calling out for the last 3 years of your life? What's the plan? How are you going to destroy him?
Yeah, look, thank you guys for all coming today. Thank you to the Kingdom of Saudi, Prince Khalid, the Ministry of Sport. I'm excited to be here. We got some legends in the building, Mike Tyson, Devin Haney, Derek Chisora, Sean Porter, the list goes on, honestly. There's too many people to name. But, man, look, we've picked this guy apart. We've studied him. He makes a lot of mistakes. He's great on offense, has got a good jab, lots of combos, speed, good footwork, good movement. He's a good boxer, but he's not a great boxer. And his lack of defense and lack of head movement is going to be exposed on Sunday.
All right, let's take it over to Tommy Fury. Let's start with Tommy. Tommy, let me ask you this question, and I say it just with utmost because it is the elephant in the room. This fight was supposed to happen, as Nikisa had talked about, this fight was supposed to happen a couple of times. It's taken 2 years to make the fight happen. There have been different restrictions. There have been different limitations. There have been reasons that this fight has not happened. Have you ever intentionally dodged Jake Paul?
Do you really think that's the case? Before I start speaking, I want to thank everybody for attending today. Thank you to everyone in Saudi Arabia for having us. We've been treated like kings so far, so thank you for that. And no, definitely not. I mean, I think people's got it twisted. I'm in boxing and having goals of being a world champion. So if I am to do that, I can't be dodging people like Jake Paul. Believe you me, the past 2 fights didn't happen because of it being out of my hands completely. The first fight, broke rib. Doctors advised me not to fight. What do you want me to do? Second fight, went to the airport with my full team, ready to go. Denied access into the USA. Still ongoing. Third time's a charm. And we're here, and I'm in super fit condition. I'm ready to go and put this all to bed because for the past 2.5 years, all it's been is, when are you fighting Jake Paul? Da-da-da-da. To even mention my name in the same sentence as that, it's disrespectful to me, who's been boxing my whole life. And I'm going to clinically knock this guy out early.
Jake, let me turn it over to you. Welcome back to the Kingdom. This is your second press conference. Welcome back. We've seen a lot online. We've seen a lot of your training. It has not been filmed by you. You've been very focused in this camp. Almost, if you allow me to say, more focused than I have ever seen you before. And I've watched you throughout your career. I've been on the opposite side of your sword in previous fights. And this side, you know, we're taking the promotion role here, and we're delighted to have you on here. But you have taken a different approach on this fight. You've moved your camp to Dubai. You're training in the infamous Kamani gym alongside Badu Jack and a lot of the world champions there. Have you taken this fight more serious, and is this fight changing your perspective on your career?
I mean, I always take every fight seriously. You know, I've fought UFC champions. You know, Tyron Woodley was winning the UFC championship while I was on Disney Channel. So when Tommy says, you know, I've been doing this my whole life, none of that means anything. I've always trained harder. I've always trained tougher than all of my opponents, and I want it more. I have more of a why. I have more of a purpose. You know, I'm Tommy's end goal. This is the biggest opportunity of his life. He's never been on a stage like this. He's never gotten a payday like this. He was getting paid, you know, peanuts compared to this. So really, this is what I do now. And Anderson Silva is one of the greatest strikers ever. Top 5 greatest combat strikers ever. So to go in there and outbox him, put him on the canvas, to me, this is a speed bump and a cakewalk.
Jake, in talking about that fight, the Anderson Silva fight did surprise a lot of people. It did not quiet your critics because, of course, the age came up, the MMA factor came up, but it was a very risky fight going into your 5th fight. You sat ringside, and ringside, I mean ringside, for Tommy's last fight. You were able to watch him fight in the most recent and most updated performance of his career. Did you see anything during that performance that you were a little bit hesitant about, or something that could have scared you going into this fight?
No, nothing at all. Like I said, he's a good boxer. I give him that credit. He's fast. He's got length. He's strong. He got them inflatable arms. I don't even know how his arms look like that. He don't got no legs. Like, he's top heavy as shit. He looked like the Michelin Man or something. But there's nothing he can do to stop me. He doesn't have power. You know, he couldn't knock out Daniel Bochinski. He can't knock out the taxi drivers he's been put in there with, who have a combined record of 20 wins and 250 losses. And when I say that stat, my friend came up to me and was like, yo, I thought you were joking when you said that stat. That's an actual stat. His opponents have a combined record of 20 wins and 250 losses. And the record of the opponents now is like 30 wins and 350 losses. So he's never been put in there with someone who wasn't there to lose. So on Sunday, when he's in the locker room warming up, he's going to be thinking, damn, everyone has been put in there to lose. The Warrens put me in there with scrubs, and now I have a real fight, 8 rounds. He's never been 8 rounds, and he's going to get into the deep waters and drown, and I promise that.
Tommy, your answer to that?
Well, I've got a few things. Basically, keeps on going on and on and on about Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley was 40 years old. Anderson Silva was nearly 50, not too far off my dad's age. And he took the full distance. And everybody knows in this building who knows about boxing, MMA fighters are not boxers. We all know that. I've absolutely took apart every single MMA fighter I've ever sparred with in my entire life. They're not boxers. And this guy couldn't even deal with them. I mean, let alone what this guy is, a great striker, yeah, in MMA, not boxing. And you still went 8 rounds with him and looked like you'd been through the trenches. You know, on Sunday night, you've got a fresh, young, 23-year-old, proper, legitimate fighter who would have it inside and outside the ring. I'm not for lights, camera, action. This is in my heart, blood and soul, and you're going to feel that. Let me tell you now, I'm not a 50-year-old man, and when you're in the opposite corner and you're getting hit all about the head, the blue flashes, you're going to wake up and realise what boxing is. It's not to fight old men. You've got a proper fighter in here, and he's coming to take your head off.
Tyson! Tyson!
Hey.
Gypsy King is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the WBC champion of the world, Tyson Fury.
So, John, you know, the rumors were going around. Your son is here. He said if his little brother loses, he better move out and mark him. Is that true, or are you going to disown your favorite son?
Let me tell you, come Monday, Tyson Fury is going to be the most proud brother in the world. Because you know what? He's going to give Jake Paul a beating even Mike Tyson will be proud of.
So Jake, come Sunday, how are we going to win this fight?
You asked at the beginning. Look, people are going to see, you know, they could talk about all these things, MMA fighters, but you put Anderson Silva in there with Tommy Fury, and Anderson Silva knocks him out. You think that Mike Tyson, you know, I think, well, how old, 58? You think that Mike Tyson couldn't beat Tommy Fury's ass right now? You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And so, so the age thing is, you know, that's what people are hung up on, and that's why I'm so excited for this fight, is because now I can finally silence the critics who have said fight a professional boxer, fight someone your age. I agree, I haven't proven that, but this is why this fight's so big. This is why I'm so excited, and this is why I've given this guy multiple chances on chances and paid him so much money to finally show up, and it really seemed like the only time he wanted to get into the ring is when I increased the amount of money. And so thankfully he's here now, and he keeps on saying it's a easy fight. He says it's going to be, you know, knocking me out, starch me, all of these things. He comes from the bloodline. He's been doing it his whole entire life. I just want to know, Tommy, do you think this is going to be an easy fight?
Where are you? Because I want to look you in the eyes when I say this. Where are you? I can't see you. Look at me in the eyes. You're getting put to sleep inside 4 rounds. Let me tell you, I'm not an old man here. I'm a fresh, young fighter. I'm going to put you away. You had 2 very lucky escapes of this fight. You should have took the escapes. You should not be sitting here right now because this is bad for you. You've blown your ticket. You should have stuck to making easy money, fighting old men, celebrities. I'm coming to take your head off.
Great. So I think we make a deal then, since you're so confident. I think we make a deal. If you win, I'll pay you double what I'm paying you already. But if I win, I take everything that I'm paying you.
Delicious.
Deal or no deal. Since you're so confident. Deal or no deal, since you're so confident.
Take it.
Deal or no deal.
Take it. Take it.
Why are you standing up?
Deal or no deal. I want to shake on it.
Why are you going to stand up like you want to do something? Sit back down.
I just want to shake your hand.
Sit back down. Sit back down.
Answer the question.
You've dealt. You've got a deal. All or nothing. All or nothing. You've got it. You've got it. You've got it. Both, you've heard it. He's got it.
I'll put you away inside the first round. First round. It's over. It's over.
You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. It's a deal. It's a deal.
Just to confirm, can we have this in writing, please, as well? because you know what? Thank you, Jake. You're making our night and stay even better. Only in Saudi Arabia.
My lawyers actually already have the contract ready. Marcos, can you grab that?
Friend. You've got it.
And you know what's funny, Tommy, is that your dad agreed to the deal before you. Your dad. Your dad is more confident than you.
Listen, I know
you realize
what you
that
are.
they can't be in the ring with you.
I can look into your eyes and tell what you are. You ain't a fighter, mate. You're a shit house.
Hold your hand the whole entire time. When your dad just said deal, you were like,
hey, guess what? Do you know the funniest thing?
Why'd you do that, Dad?
The funniest thing about all this, yeah? When I come face to face with you,
hold your hand in the ring.
I threw half a feint.
He can't hold your hand in the ring.
I threw half a feint and he reacted. I threw a little feint and he reacted.
Give me the money.
Can I just say one thing? Excuse me.
That's me applause.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing and I'll wrap this all up? If Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury don't deserve paying.
Amen.
So, we got to fight. Where's that? Where's that paper? I definitely want this on paper. You got the Fury brothers in here. You know what? I was thinking about this. If he beats you, it's a long ride home. 6 hours long ride home. You know that.
Let me tell you now, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because I'm not in this game to talk. I'll let me fist do the talking. On Sunday night, when I put this man away in a mismatch, it's going to be onwards and upwards for me. I'm going to take everything he's got, and he's going to be going home to Ohio, or wherever he's from, sulking.
Puerto Rico.
Wherever you're from.
So the WBC say they're going to put the winner in the rankings. You know, do you agree with that, Tommy?
The WBC ranking, yeah. I mean, it's going to be amazing to get ranked and stuff like that. Of course, amazing, absolutely fantastic.
I think he said he's going to make you number one.
Huh?
Boss, are you going to make them number one, yeah? Yeah, rank number one, yeah? Thank you.
Hey!
Shall we do the face-off?
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. You've seen the animosity. This fight is for real. Sunday, February 26th in Diriyah. The talk is over. It's time for the truth. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, the next time they see each other will be at the weigh-ins. And we're going to ask them now. We have security in the back. Yeah, we are going to do the face-off. Where at? Here or down there? We're now going to have a face-off between Jake and Tommy. Prince Fahd, if you can do us the honors.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen, towards the crowd. Gentlemen, towards the crowd. It is on. It is time for the truth. February 26th in Diriyah. The talk is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special commemorative piece here, a belt designed by the WBC for Dir'iyya season, and it will be at stake. The winner will receive the coveted Dir'iyya belt from the WBC. It goes down Sunday, February 26th, across the globe in over 175 countries in the United States on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, on BT Sport in the United Kingdom, and all of our global partners. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the truth. Yasser, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you, everyone. The truth at Dir'iyya on the 26th of February. We'll see you there. Media members, please head to the wall for questions and interviews. And it is on. Thank you so much.
Is over. The truth at Dir'iyya.
We always raise the bar here in Saudi Arabia. We always host a great fight.
For the heavyweight championship of the world, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The world will be watching.
Anytime, anywhere, any place.
The problem, child. Why they call you that?
Because I'm a problem for people in the ring.
February 26th, his boxing career is over.
You'll see who the real professional boxer is.
Without the cameras, this guy's nothing.
The talk is over.
This guy's getting knocked out.
The truth will set you free. Oh, I'm knocking this dude out. Make sure to get your tickets for the truth. February 26th, Riyadh. You don't want to miss this one.